Hi, it's Leela, the proud poly kinky queer slut. So it happened again. When I have a rinky-dink little channel on YouTube. I mean, right now I think I'm at 80 followers. It's a hobby project for me. It is a place where I can speak my opinion and be out and proud as a proud poly kinky queer slut, and all of my really promote love, promote sexuality as a healthy thing, and that is really my intention with this um, this little platform. I made a post about the No Kings protest and released it on July 4th because I found that to be a really moving experience, and I think this country is founded on values of freedom and liberty and trying to aspirationally do better when it comes to embracing all peoples. I realize that's not our actual history, but it is the values on which our nation was founded, and it is frankly the root of why I am proud to be American. And I say that with some trepidation because it's getting harder. So I found myself in a situation where I was the sole voice on my side of the argument during a week when the United States has just opened a concentration camp. So we've now gone from people of color being indiscriminately profiled by police officers and targeted by police officers, which at this point is old news. That's just the run-of-the-mill racism in this nation. And then now we've got a situation where ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, they're really supposed to be like border agents running background checks and making sure that duties and fees are collected, are now a paramilitary organization showing up at people's schools to track down otherwise law-abiding citizens who are in this country without proper documentation. This nation that is a nation founded on immigration, unless you happen to be one of the first peoples who were displaced by the massive waves of immigration into this nation. An immigration system, by the way, that is racist. And it's just so much. It's just so much. And there is no way that I can change the minds of those people who hate me. There is no way that I can change the minds of those people who will get on my forum and call me a fat whale and tell me that I am an ignorant, privileged woman with no perspective. When what I am doing is speaking out for the basic rights of people, for the basic rights that should exist. And yes, I'm sure harm happens on many, many sides, but violence against a few is no excuse for violence against the many or for propagating systems of violence and hate. We need to stand up and say, no, this is not what we want in our nation. And, I know you cannot reason a person into out of a position that they did not reason themselves into. And I know that a lot of this is coming from media manipulation and different sides of the story being fed to different people and frankly fear. But we've reached a point now where you would have to be living under a rock not to see that paramilitary armed organizations are showing up at schools to arrest families. And then no due process locking them up in concentration camps. Or a camp so far, but one is the start and more to come. And there are parallels to Nazi Germany that, we were talking about as like, I hate to say it, but I kind of see some parallels a few years ago. And now those are stark, real things that we're seeing happening. Just like in Berlin, they're going after the queers. They're choosing a group that's easy to target and has a limited ability to defend themselves. And in this case, that is the people in this country unlawfully or without following proper process, for moving here to seek a better life for themselves and their family. I mean, criminals exist. Violent crime is down in the last 20 years. Things are getting better. Most crime is people hurting you. That is like the actual factual truth. It just infuriates me. It really infuriates me. And I would like to see us do better. And I've gotten criticism before from folks that are like, why do you make this the core of your identity, being the proud poly kinky queer slut? And the thing is, I do think it's a place where my perspective can lend some advancement to what are greater social pressures and can help move the needle in a way that makes sense. But this is a good example of how that is not truly my primary identity. My primary identity is as a human, a decent human with a moral compass that says that we should not be hunting people down. Period. We should not be rounding up otherwise peaceful citizens and sending them to camps and deporting them to foreign prisons with no due process. I think this should be something that we can unite on regardless of our political beliefs, but apparently I'm wrong. So yeah, I'm just going to post this angry video because why not? It's my channel. I can do what I want with it. And let me just say to those of you who are haters out there, those of you who do look at me and think this woman should be committed, hold up a mirror and examine your own racism and your own bias. I have, and I am better for it. Please, let's end the violence. Please end the violence. That is what we need to do. We need to stop the racism and stop the violence. Please. And to those of you who are listening to this and thinking, yes, I agree, or have nuanced points about that, please email me your comments. I'd be happy to correspond about those, provided that they're respectful and productive. But yeah, I'm going to turn off comments on this video too, because frankly, I cannot be the only person standing out there against this wave of hate. It's just too much. It's just more than I can handle. So, and it's more than I can handle, not because my position's not just, but because I'm really trying to keep the energy to fight and not let this beat me down so much that I can't function. Because it's hard right now. It's hard. And we need to do more. And I need to do more. And that means self-care. That means the self-care of not opening myself up to comments full of hate where I'm the only person who is voicing any kind of rational opinion. And that's a little bit of hyperbole. Thank you to the couple of you who did voice like counter opinions, but rational ones with respect and dignity. And I do appreciate that dialogue. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, to the rest of you, I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change my mind. And frankly, I think that if you are a person who cannot agree that taking otherwise peaceable citizens and rounding them up and shipping them to foreign prisons or putting them in camps is wrong and reminiscent of World War II, if you do not share that opinion with me, I don't really want to know what you think. I don't. Because that is a basic level of human decency. Rapists in the White House, well, that's happened before. Like, we all know that sexism is real. But that, like, racist rounding up of people, we've seen this story. We know this movie. We know how this goes. Let's stop it before it gets to as bad as it can get. Please. Please. Let's do anything we can to stop it. Thank you very much for listening. This is Leela, the angry human with ethics. Yeah. Have a great day.